I am here at Golden Eagle headquarters.
Indeed.
Here in Southern California, Orange County. And I'm here with my good friend, Dakota Rader. Welcome to the Powerhouse Podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'm super happy to be in your backyard to do this podcast for a lot of reasons. One, I think it's important for people to know just the genesis and the origin story of not only you, but this awesome vodka company that you've built. And full disclosure, I am a vodka snob. You knew that when I met you. I met you through one of my good friends, Carlos, and he told me that there was a vodka company that I should meet. So I met you at OC Local.
That's right.
And I think one of the first things I said is, hey, no offense, if this is crap, this isn't not going to last long.
You said something about your affinity for Belvedere.
I like Belvedere, Chopin, Grey Goose, and Beluga if you can find it.
Yeah.
So you came with, I think, a couple of them. Grey Goose.
I came with Grey Goose, Belvedere, Tito's, and Kettle One.
And we did a side-by-side. I was blown away. I was sober, so it was my first drink. Yeah. So that's a good that's a good starting point.
And by the way, you don't drink those neat or on ice.
No, I don't. Not typically.
How do you drink? How do you drink those?
I drink it with a splash of soda
and 17 limes.
And 2 lemons.
Okay,
2 lemons, just on the outside. And I love the drink. I thought it was amazing. That night when I was taking an Uber back to the hotel, I ordered a couple of bottles on the website just to see what the user experience was, thinking you wouldn't know. And maybe you didn't. I don't know that I was ordering it. And I was in town for a couple of days. When I got back that following Monday, there was a bottle, beautiful bottle. It's right there. And I loved it. And I fell in love with the drink. And then we started talking. And then eventually I fell in love with the investment opportunity. Yeah. So I am an investor. And then shortly after, I introduced it to the Powerhouse Investing Group. Yep. And we now have quite a few big fans of the Golden Eagle.
It's only growing.
It's amazing.
This train has left the station. Yeah. We're about to take a pit stop, but momentum is picking up and it's getting exciting.
So before we start, I appreciate the drink.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers to the only vodka that you can drink on a single ice cube and sip it like it's a whiskey, right?
This is great.
Nothing better than vodka at 1 p.m.
Tequila drinker. It's 3 p.m. where I'm from. So, so in Dallas. So it's on a Friday. So it's happy hour.
Understood.
Tequila drinkers, which I'm not a huge one.
Yeah.
Say it tastes like tequila. Yep. And then whiskey drinkers, which I'm definitely not a whiskey drinker, have told me that, in fact, my good friend Nick, he was only a whiskey drinker. I sent him a bottle and he said, I'm not interested. I don't drink vodka. I said, just have some. And he actually not only bought it, became a consumer, became an investor, but whiskey drinkers say it tastes like whiskey. What is it about this to a vodka drinker? Yeah. It doesn't taste like any of the vodkas. Yeah. But it's great.
But you love it.
But I love it.
As a vodka drinker, what do you like about it?
There's a flavor to it. And I know it's not flavored like a Citron. Right. Right.
It's not flavored.
It's not flavored at all.
But there is flavor.
You have one and notice when I drink it, there's no wince. Right. I mean, I wouldn't drink a Grey Goose straight. And if I did, it'd be a shot. Right. And it's like, you're like everyone else. You do a shot, you suck it up for a second, and then you're good. This, you can drink it like you're drinking a water with a little bit of flavor.
Flavored vodkas are flavored with artificial flavors. This is 100% natural. Like there's 2 ingredients, wheat and water. That's it. So why it has flavor on the connoisseur side or the wine side or the spirits enthusiast side, that's what we refer to as character. So if something tastes like it has flavor, it's the character, it's the complexity of it. So
what brings that? Where did this come from?
So really what you're asking is a massive question, and we're just going to get into it, is why Golden Eagle and why the product that we made, why does it have the nuance that it does, and why did we try to compete in the most saturated segment in the entire beverage alcohol industry? We're bringing something that...
Vodka is more saturated than tequila?
Vodka is a higher case volume. It is a higher volume product globally than tequila. Okay. Some say in some markets that tequila is teetering. I think it's a tequila PR stunt, but vodka by volume is larger than tequila. Okay. Tequila is a more saturated market as of late because everybody's getting on the celebrities. Oh, well, I want to have a brand. I want to have a brand. Right. I want to have a brand. And the Casamigos deal inspired everybody to get into the brand making phase. But what that's doing from sort of the industry landscape, specifically in the tequila segment, is you have all of these, what we call in the industry as industry people. We have a very industry team. I'm an industry guy. My family's industry people. Our sales guys are all industry guys. Our executives are industry guys. We come from the industry, either supplier side, distributor side, or the hospitality side. So we have a team of industry folks. We refer to all of the other people starting brands as civilians.
Right.
So these are civilian deals. Right. So when internally we always talk about civilians, this is a civilian deal. That's what you're seeing in the tequila landscape is the Casamigos deal inspired everybody to start a $1 billion brand. And that project is such an anomaly because of Randy Gerber being such a big deal in the hospitality space and George Clooney being a celebrity. It was very much a perfect storm to have a $1 billion deal. There's still $350 million into the deal, but it was a $1 billion exit. So that from the outside looking in inspires the civilian to go, I want a brand. Right. I want a brand. I want a brand. I want to. So when you look at tequila in the segment, tequila is saturated right now. The volume and velocity of brands popping up and coming out, at the end of the day, you can only differentiate so much. So it's all differentiated based on ideals and values and branding, if you will. But it's just the same juice in a different package, right? There's only so many distilleries, so many gnomes in Mexico. The vodka is for us. When you look at the vodka segment, vodka by and large is the largest category. Like volume is bigger than any other category. Wine is obviously large, but vodka is a global spirit. It's an Eastern European spirit by DNA, and now America has taken it by storm, Smirnoff into Tito's. Tito's is the biggest brand in the world. I started my
Tito's is the biggest brand in the world.
Tito's did 12.9 million 9-liter cases last year.
Wow.
12.9 million.
Yep.
Grey Goose is not even to 3 million. This is 400% the size. Tito's is.
You think it's price point? Because Tito's is half the price of a Grey Goose.
Tito's is price point and accessibility. So Tito's was the first brand to monetize the gluten-free trend. Well, they were really the first to really lean into it. All distilled spirits are gluten-free. Gluten can't live past the experience of distillation unless you're reintroducing the gluten post-distillation. Right. So even though this doesn't say gluten-free on the back label, it's gluten-free. Even though Macallan doesn't say gluten-free on the back label, it's gluten-free. Unless there is some type of gluten reintroduced, reintroduced or exposed post that production process. So we're not selling on the basis of its gluten merit. We're selling on the basis of the product quality. Tito's was the first to really lean into the health trend and go gluten-free, 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 gluten-free. And that worked. That really positioned them well into market. Once they expanded past Texas, it became a game of marketing and remarketing and being that first Americana brand that was at a price point for the common consumer, right? So you walk into any grocery store. I don't care if it's a liquor store, if it's the nicest grocery stores, Gelson's, Pavilions, Whole Foods, whatever. You're going to find Tito's in a nice display at a price point that's competitive with everything else. You cannot beat it. It's not beatable. So
I think it tastes like crap, to be honest. I really do.
I will.
I'll drink it at a concert once I've already had my 9 beers, but I will not order a Tito's soda.
I cannot confirm or deny your position on Tito's, but if that's my only option, I choose wine. That's all I'll say.
I was in Nashville 2 weeks ago, and all the major bars, Kid Rock's bars and all the other ones, they only serve Tito's. Yeah. You'd have to go to a fine restaurant to get a Belvedere or a Grey Goose. So it was rough. And they serve Tito's in a plastic cup. It's gross.
You're selling a different thing. Like to me, I think in the general populace of vodka consumer, vodka is, and this will be my segue into why Golden Eagle. Vodka has always been understood in the U.S. market as it's just a mixer. Right. It's just a mixer. That's all it is. It's just mix it with whatever. My cranberry, my OJ, my this, my that, my soda, my 2 lemon, whatever it is. Vodka is just a filler. Right. I would love to participate in a great drink, but I don't really like the taste of bourbon or whiskey or rum, and beer's too heavy, so I opt for vodka, and I'm going to make it taste, it's customizable in a sense. Right. That's not the traditional method for drinking vodka. Yep. Like you go post-prohibition or pre-prohibition Eastern Europe where vodka started. There's still a war going on. Did it start in Poland? Did it start in Russia? 1400, somewhere in the 1400s, vodka was sort of ideated in Eastern Europe. And over there, vodka was never a mixer. Vodka was a delicacy. Vodka was something that we grab our glasses and we do neat or on ice, and we grab the bottle, we set it in the middle of the table, and we drink it in community in small portions, neat or over ice, because it wasn't flavored. It had a character and a complexity to it.
So that's what this is, character.
Exactly.
Flavor.
This is a character vodka. Character vodka, in my opinion, we're establishing and really defining a new emergence of the vodka category. Vodka right now is 3 segments. It's neutral, it is flavored, and then there is sort of what you would call a varietal. This would be a varietal product, very ingredient driven, ingredient forward. It's a unique grain, and we emphasize that.
And the grains come from where?
Montana.
And it's a red wheat?
Yes, it is. The grain varietal is a dark northern hard red spring wheat. I will get into the grain and the ingredients, the process here in a second. But to crystallize the comment on why Golden Eagle is we are reinstating vodka as a delicacy spirit. Like as a company, that is our product mission, to reinstate vodka as something that is worthy of sipping and enjoying neat or over ice. That's our product mission. Most other vodkas in the categories, or many other brands, they're in a pursuit of neutrality. So how many times can we distill this product from a neutral grain? Whether that's potato or corn or white wheat, the mission is to make it taste like nothing. And the reality is the more you distill a product from grains that don't have character and complexity, the closer you're going to get to ethanol.
Right.
Which that's what you say when you, I line up all these products and I can't drink it like I drink Golden Eagle. Yeah, well, of course, because it is all, they all resemble sort of the same thing in a way. So when we looked at the spirits industry, this was three years ago when we're on to, this was 2020, I was with Del Frisco's group. Del Frisco's really cut my teeth in sort of the fine dining, upper echelon hospitality industry. I was working as a sommelier for that company and a beverage buyer and working on programs. That company got sold to Landry's for $1 bajillion and everything started to change. So I bowed out, went and opened another craft cocktail bar called Solstice here in Orange County.
Yep.
We had dinner there. It was amazing.
Well, yeah.
So great bar, opened that, launched that bev program, but that when the Del Frisco sold to Landry's, it was very much a reevaluation moment for me. That was exactly the same time COVID hit. So COVID hit, everybody was reevaluating their careers. The company had just been sold and I was like, holy shit. I just established this awesome ecosystem. I think first-time entrepreneurs always focus on the product. Second-time entrepreneurs focus on distribution. Third-time entrepreneurs who focus on ecosystem. I had a great mentor of mine, Carlos, one of your best friends.
Yep.
I had been mentoring one of Carlos's sons, and we were having a really great dialogue. This was probably 2020 about what's the next step. What's the next step for Dakota? You know, I've been building so many great programs and projects, but not one of magnitude. I was building great projects, some cool product ideas, some cool concepts, put up a nonprofit with some great friends, doing some awesome educational stuff in Orange County. But we wanted to do a big deal.
Welcome to the Powerhouse Investing Group, otherwise known as PIG. PIG is a boutique capital formation firm that invests across several sectors and industries, both startup, small, and mid-sized companies. PIG started in 2023 as a group fund with friends and family, investing in small companies, originally a restaurant, and has now turned into several portfolio companies. We have accredited investors across the country with the single goal of helping raise capital for our portfolio companies. Our community of accredited investors is growing every single day across the country. If you're interested in being part of the Powerhouse Investing Group, please reach out.
And in order to do a big deal, it's not just about the product. It's not just about distribution. It's about the ecosystem. So, okay, what's the ecosystem that we have? And without really realizing it, sort of turned around during COVID and realized that we had established over the last decade an incredible ecosystem of hospitality operators and distribution partners and relationships with great, powerful, successful suppliers in the beverage alcohol industry. And I never had a desire to start a beverage alcohol brand. It wasn't a thing. It's almost like it was something assigned to me.
Right.
So you must do this. So COVID hit, Del Frisco sold. I turned around and Carlos was like, well, look at the ecosystem. I'm like, look at all of the pieces. We just have to create something special. So I was never a vodka drinker before Golden Eagle, ever. I was a sommelier. I'm a wine guy. I'm a wine guy who likes whiskey and bourbon. What does that mean? Common denominator between all those categories. I love character-driven products.
Right.
I'm going to talk about products, backgrounds, the stories, the grain, the farm, all this stuff. So when Carlos was like, look at the ecosystem, we looked at the ecosystem. Yeah, okay, beverage alcohol. Let's get into the supplier side. Let's do it. We have all the pieces of the puzzle. We just need a special product. So for me, okay, I want to do red wine. I love big Bordeaux, big bad grapes. Like, let's do it. It takes $1 billion to be successful in the wine industry. I'm not quite there yet. Okay, we're going to do whiskey or bourbon. Well, I'm passionate about these stories. So let's get on whiskey or bourbon and compete in the uniqueness category on uniqueness. Well, general SWOT analysis tells you, why would you get into whiskey and compete on the same thing that all the other whiskeys are competing on? That'd be silly.
Right.
So, well, let's look at vodka. Well, to me, I'm like, no way. I'm a bartender by trade. Vodka's a waste of space in a cocktail. It's all the same. Like, no, vodka, no way. Good friend of mine who's a partner in Golden Eagle, his name's Bill Bacco, very successful CPG guy, marketer, writes for a couple great magazines out here on the West Coast. He had leaned in at this time, and he kind of said, why though not, I know you don't like vodka, but you're passionate about unique things and character, and vodka is just, it's all neutral. It's all the same. Why wouldn't we get into vodka and compete on uniqueness and character when everybody else is competing on neutrality and price point? Right. I was like, holy shit. Like, really thought about it for a second. I was like, well, there's got to be a reason no one else is doing it. Like, why aren't other brands doing this? Started to really look at communication trends. Like, what's Grey Goose talking about? What's Chopin talking about? What's Belvedere talking about? You notice over the last 5-10 years, their communication trends have started to change. Oh, I thought this product was distilled 6 times and now it's distilled less. Oh, it's all about character, but it used to be about how it mixes. Oh, you can drink it on ice now, but for the last 10 years, you just drink it in these cocktails. The industry trend is moving post-COVID towards uniqueness and character-driven products. Why? Because us consumers are getting smarter, right, more sophisticated, more discerning. We care more.
We're drinking more.
Exactly. So when we look at it and go, okay, well, what are we going to do with Golden Eagle? Is let's create a product for the vodka category that was authentic, honest, and had true character, worthy of appreciating and sipping, like the original intention of vodka. It's not another neutral spirit. It's not. Right. Can you mix it? 100% you can, because the profile is very soft, round, vanilla, sweet cream, all the great things for cocktail making. But we're not going to bring another vodka to the industry that is an interchangeable product with the products that pre-exist it. We're here to bring something truly special that is worthy of sipping, just like this. So how, right? You said, well, why can I drink Golden Eagle, on ice, and I can't drink other brands? Why does this not? Right. Why does this not? It's not what we do more. It's actually what we do less. Yeah. So
you step on it less, basically.
Yeah, exactly. This product is
layman's terms, right?
Yeah. This product is distilled 1 time, not 6 times, not 10 times. Many brands, I won't say all brands and I won't name brands, but I'll say many brands are in the pursuit of neutrality. Their goal is to taste like nothing. So they start with base grains like corn, white wheat, or potato. These grains don't have any protein. Generally, they're low on the protein scale. So in our terms, it's low in flavor, low in complexity, yep, let's say. You're going to take those products, corn, potato, white wheat, and you're going to distill them 6 times, 30 times, 50 times, 100 times. Every time you distill, you remove the natural character and complexity from that grain. Okay, well, if there's no natural character and complexity in corn and you distill it once, okay, try 6 times. Okay, so after 6 times, a product that didn't have flavor to begin with, you distilled it 6 times, now has what flavor? Fingernail polish, ethanol. Now,
and people say that too.
100%.
Yeah.
So the idea, though, it's not a bad approach. I greatly admire the work that these brands have been able to produce. It's merely a different goal. Grey Goose is a phenomenal product. Tito's a phenomenal product, phenomenal brand. Belvedere, all of these products are incredible. Right. I admire them, and if they were sitting right here, I would tell them the same thing. Yeah. The reality is their goal is just different than our goal. Their goal is to pursue neutrality. And obviously, in that pursuit, you can start with grains that the price point might be more competitive than our grains. Therefore, their margins are maybe larger than our margins may be. Regardless, though, the goal is different. If you want to have a really nice end, you need a nice beginning. For us, we use the finest estate-grown commodities that America has to offer. So while everybody's using corn and potato and white wheat, the varietal of wheat we use is a hard red spring wheat varietal called, the subvariety is called Dark Northern. So hard red spring wheat, you can get it in many parts of the north, more extreme environments, Pacific Northwest, up in Wyoming, Idaho, North Dakota, you can find hard red spring. Outside of hard red spring, this specific varietal is called Dark Northern. So Dark Northern is the most protein-dense wheat varietal in the world. Like, we're talking 16, 17, 18%. Higher the protein density, the more flavor you're generally going to yield from that. How do we get that? It comes from the terroir of Montana. So Montana is a crazy extreme environment. So I'm going to geek out on this for only 2 minutes. If you were to grow hard red spring wheat in Texas, it's going to taste significantly different than hard red spring wheat in Montana. Because of the altitude, because of how dry it is in the summer or the growing months of Montana, and the extreme temperature fluctuations and lack of moisture, all of those environmental factors, or what would be the terroir when we're talking about wine or spirits, that extreme terroir puts this specific varietal of wheat under a lot of pressure. So high temperatures, not a lot of moisture. It's putting stress on those plants.
Right.
The more stress this dark northern wheat varietal is put under, the deeper the root systems of this plant grow. The deeper the root systems, the more nutrient density, the more protein packed, and the more flavorful that wheat is going to be. So by putting this wheat under pressure, and this is not something that we invented, this is just the natural world. And we said, okay, if we want the most character-driven wheat varietal on the planet, we need to find the most extreme environment with the most complex wheat. Let's take that very, very character-driven commodity and let's distill it once. If the goal is a character-driven product, to not pursue neutrality and have another mixer, let's take the most complex grain and distill it once.
Right.
One perfect time. We get it right the first time. That's it. It's not what we do more. It's less.
How many iterations did you have to do?
36.
36 times.
Yeah.
Before you said, and were you the tester? I mean, I know you had other testers, I'm sure.
Yes.
You're the final say.
I was the principal taster and tester, an ideator, I guess, if you will. But we had a bank of, so through the Del Frisco Circle and the Solstice Circle, I had sort of a pool of 3 or 4 certified sommeliers and mixologists, 3 sommeliers, and then 3 mixologists that we had participating in this. Because how we win in beverage alcohol, like you have to be able to cocktail. You have to be able to cocktail. You can't just have a really complex sipping product because you're not going to pander just specifically to the feminine market. Sure. So we're like, there were some iterations where we're like, dude, the flavor is insane. This is like this is like a scotch, right. But this is going to be for the very sophisticated masculine palate. It keeps your market share this big. Yeah. If we're going to go toe-to-toe with some of the biggest brands in the world, this product needs to be uniquely complex, but it also needs to be approachable and this isn't a word, but cocktailable. Right. Because how we win on premise or at restaurants when emerging into markets is we win cocktail programming. People are like, well, how are you going to, no one knows about you. How are you going to sell that many cases? We put cocktails on menus. You know the marketing strategy? Walk into restaurants, beat pricing on competitor products, earn cocktail placements by creative ideas, train staff. That's how you maximize depletion. So you have to have a product that's cocktailable, worthy of mixing. So that was really why it took so many times is, okay, so it's too flavorful this time. Oh, it burns too much this time. Not enough flavor in this one. It resembles common products too much. And Golden Eagle as it exists today is optimal, right? Like we can sit here and drink it over ice all day long.
Honestly, I wish I had more right now. I'm almost done.
We could let's do this. Cut, and then we'll insert new vodka pour. But yeah, so
so we've got the how. Mm-hmm. How Golden Eagle. We have the why, the background.
Yeah.
The 36 iterations. You mentioned something about how we compete with our competitors. And recently in the past, I think 30 to 45 days, you've got some accomplishments to show how you compete. Yeah. So talk about that.
Yeah. So in the supplier world, a lot of marketing strategy when looking towards the trade. So trade publications and different trade authority magazines. There are a few different alliances or groups or organizations that rate and award products. So products on the supplier side, distilleries around the world can compete to sort of get their products rated or awarded or whatever. We've entered a lot of the bigger competitions. There's hundreds of competitions all around the world, some tiny and small, some really big. We enter all of them, right? It's really a shotgun fire. Over the last, like you'd mentioned, over the last maybe 30, 60 days, we've received some pretty incredible
let's hear it.
Notoriety.
Let's talk about
it. Yeah, so some of the bigger LA Spirit Awards, Tasting Panel Magazine, International Craft Competition, San Francisco Spirit Awards, Distiller Challenge. We were in all of these these are all the bigger award shows. And oftentimes big brands, you sponsor, you get nicer ratings. We don't have the luxury today. We can only compete on a quality product, and we're winning. We're winning. 3 or 4. Yeah. Oh yeah. Platinum medals at LA Spirits Awards.
Number 1 vodka.
Yeah, absolutely. And gold medals at Distiller Challenge, gold medals at other ones. We got the most, for me, the one that mattered to me the most is the official rating we got in the Tasting Panel Magazine.
97?
Yeah. So Tasting Panel Magazine, for context, it's not just some Joe like in his room getting a bunch of products and slapping ratings on them. Tasting Panel is like the trade authority. So this magazine gets sent to all of the beverage directors across the country. It gets sent to all of the buyers for Pavilions and Ralphs and Gelson's and Vaughn's. Like, this is a trade magazine. This isn't a magazine for the consumer. We've got amazing awards and notoriety in consumer magazines, in your lifestyle magazines, in your, your Nobleman's and your.
This is among experts.
This is the industry mag. Yep. So tasting panel is for the bev director,
right,
who really buys the product. The bev director doesn't buy it, the consumer never knows. So the tasting panel, I had an awesome chance to sit down with Virginie Boone. Virginie Boone's been a wine reviewer for 30 years in the industry, and now she's on the spirits side. Did a little tasting with her, and she was very expressive about how we were able to present a vodka. She had mentioned she's like, I was so not looking forward to this tasting. When you said it was vodka tasting, I was like, no way, I don't want anything to do with a vodka tasting. And sent her a bottle, and we had a chance to get on a Zoom and do a little tasting, and she was just awestruck by the uniqueness, the balance, the complexity that we were able to do. And this is a wine rater, the Somm Journal and tasting panel. This person who rates wine sits there sipping Golden Eagle neat, right, saying this is special. Everything you're doing, keep doing it. The trade will learn. They'll know every trend is in your favor. Like the hospitality teams, she talks to bartenders and somms and bev directors all day long. That's what she does. This is the magazine for them. She said this is what they want. The trade, the restaurateur, the bev director, the mixologist, the bartender, the sommelier. Golden Eagle is what they yearn for, because they're tired of the same old thing.
Right.
It's the same song in a different bottle. It's another neutral spirit. They yearn for things that have true character. Because how else as a consumer, what is your most memorable hospitality experiences? When the server or the bartender says, hey, let me treat you to something.
Yeah.
Or you walk in, you travel a lot, you sit down and you say, what's good here? What's good here?
Yeah.
And if that server says, what do you want? What do you like? And you go, you resort back to the passive purchaser, and you go, yeah, Tito's soda, yep, two lemons. And that's passive purchasing. But the trade, true hospitality, which is our consumer, we don't sell to the, average restaurant that's just order takers. We sell to upper echelon restaurants, casual fine dining, white tablecloths, luxury resorts, like places with real intentional service models. They're there to provide experiences. They're not there to provide a service. You go to friggin', I don't know, Cheesecake Factory. I love Cheesecake Factory, by the way. You go to Cheesecake Factory, they're there to take your order and do your thing. You go to Mastro's for a 7-course dinner, that server's going to walk up and say, what do you prefer tonight? Wine, spirits, beer? You can say, oh, I'm a vodka guy. And he's going to let me treat you to something special.
Yeah.
There's something that you don't know about that you need to know about. And it's Golden Eagle Vodka.
Are you in Mastro's now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So bottom line, best effing vodka.
Dude, it's
according to the experts, not just me.
Yeah.
Who's kind of a mini expert, civilian expert.
You are.
Best effing vodka there is, which is great. Not to be mistaken by effing vodka, right?
We're winning. We've won, and we're going to keep winning.
So when we met months and months and months ago, you were in a couple dozen restaurants.
Yeah. Yep.
And now I think you're over 100 restaurants.
Yeah, 120 plus.
High end, right?
Oh, yeah,
Javier's of the world. For anyone who's not from Orange County, we're talking like
Pendry,
$75, $80 steaks, that kind of restaurant. Yeah. They are serving Golden Eagle vodka.
We internally, we refer to them as full service. Like, we want full service. The place where you sit down and those servers they're going to share something special with you. If you say, I want a Tito's soda, they're going to say, can I treat you to something?
Right.
Places where we can really wrap education around the staff, that's where we sell. Logically, that is upscale restaurants. So yeah, 120, probably even more now. It's just growing every day. We got full sales team in the field, about to onboard a bunch of brand ambassadors. Like, velocity in California is happening. And the pull through is now happening.
What's the expansion plan beyond California?
So the expansion is contingent upon which distributor house we say yes to. We're in a dating phase right now. Dating is very important for the supplier. Most suppliers come through and they just take what they can get. But if you have to take what you can get, you're probably not on the offensive side of scale. We've got relationships in all the major houses. Two of our board members are national account directors for Southern Glaciers. John, our chief commercial officer, John was with Southern Glaciers for a long time. Hunter,
but go back to John. John's background is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, when you really start to dive down into our team, who's on the board, and the knowledge and power and relationships that exist among the team is pretty special. John, I guess if we want to name drop projects, Amin, let's go through our board. Amin Torfi, founding member of Azuñia Tequila. Most people know Azuñia. It was a phenomenal organic brand of the last 10 years. He was a senior vice president of sales at Exit. They sold that company for $15 million. He executed that brand from inception to exit. So he's our neighbor, one of my great mentors, awesome dude. Outside of Amin, Billy Melnick, he was the director of marketing for Grey Goose for 13 years, he was really their brand advocacy director. He was the one who ideated the nightlife campaigns. Steve Aoki ran that whole deal, Nightlife with Grey Goose, for 13 years. Then he got promoted to vice president of marketing, and then he was the vice president of Grey Goose at exit time. So those are our two sort of brand side guys on the board, distributor side guys on the board. Bernie Salmonson, I don't even know what his role was at Exit. A director of national accounts on premise, I believe, with Southern Glaciers. He's on our board. Director of on premise for the West Coast for Southern Glaciers is on our board. Through the Pig Circle, actually, Steve and Marina, Shane, so sorry, Steve. They introduced Charlie Moss. Yep. Their family. His father started Rum Chata. He was a chief marketing officer, sold that or ran that all the way to exit. I believe they exited Gallo for some crazy number. That's $350 million or something. Charlie's on the Friends and Founders board now. Like, the lines are open for anybody on our team.
And then John was the CEO.
Yeah. So John was he was with Southern for, I believe 10 years as on sales side. Similar story to mine. It was, you build brands for everybody else long enough, you want to build them for yourself. Right. And he was a founding CEO of Clase Azul Tequila, which I've had much of. Clase Azul is it's a very special brand. I mean, you go anywhere, it's a specialty sipping tequila product. That product was introduced by, I don't remember, I think it was his cousin's brother. I don't know. It was a family member who brought Clase Azul, which is weird. It wasn't even a Clase Azul bottle at the time. Brought it over. Was like, hey, do you think there's a market for this? Right. And John was like, I don't know, man. Like, I'll start shopping around the boys and see what we can work with. And they're like, we change the packaging, we do new redesign, like refine the juice a little bit, and I think there might be something. And everybody told John that no way, you're never going to sell it at a price point like this. It's never going to happen. It's never going to work. So they started as an independent. Just like Golden Eagle right now today, which is why John has such an affinity for our project. We started as an independent distributor in California. This is our distribution facility. It's 17,000 cases back there. Yep. Like, we're distributing this ourselves in this market. I'll show it when we're done. It's going to be pretty cool. So brands oftentimes pilot as an independent to build footprint and notoriety, prove price point, pricing lanes, build team, build strategic value and revenue before jumping to a distro house. Because you jump to a house and you have nothing, they're going to say, dude, you're nothing. Like, you mean nothing to us. We're not going to help you build your brand. So you start as an independent, build notoriety and traction, and you say, are you sure you don't want to jump on this train? Right. So same model. John was one of the early stage guys to really, I don't want to say pioneer that model, but Clase Azul started independent as well. It's like, I was out there selling 1-2 bottle placements of Clase Azul, dropping cases, dropping collateral and sell sheets out of my trunk, printing sales cards from my studio apartment. Like, for 6 years, they were an independent. They got their first distribution deal. I believe it was out of Arizona. This was one of his bosses, I think, when he was with Southern. So got their first deal in Arizona, then Colorado, and then they just ran up the food chain with Southern. So built that brand into what it is today. Awesome. I literally was going to say an absolute powerhouse, and then I caught myself. No, it's okay. This is the Powerhouse Podcast.
Well, look, you guys are a powerhouse. So before we get to what's next, hey, everybody, if you're purchasing or refinancing a home, please go out to the very best lender on the planet, Neighborhood Loans, and my favorite loan officer, Jessica Nieto. So we've covered where you started. We covered about the products and ingredients and the location and the wheats and the lack of distillation, if that's even a word. If we did say it, it's the only premium American-made premium vodka that's in that shelf space
100%.
with the Grey Goose, the Chopins, right? So buy American.
That's the whole
buy American for sure.
There isn't a domestic premium contender.
Yeah,
you've got premium. You know, you can get economy, artisanal, distillery products that are made in America. Some phenomenal American-made brands. But when you look at the real upper echelon premium, ultra premium category, it's void. Like all of your premiums are in voids.
And you can buy it at Golden Eagle.
100%. GoldenEagleVodka.com.
Right.
Statewide across California.
If you use my code Powerhouse Dan, you get 15% off.
Make sure you use Dan's
code. Use my code and you get a discount, which is great. Okay, so what's next? I know you want to expand nationally, so you need some money.
Yep.
And you're raising money, right? And I'm sure I know you've raised a lot of money here in the past year.
Yeah.
But walk us through that a little bit about how this is. We're still officially in the first seed round.
This is the first round. This is
the lowest it'll get.
This is the original share price.
Right.
The share price has
friends and family round, everything else.
Yep, absolutely. So I'll try to use loose numbers and stay high level as much as possible. We started this brand 3 years ago, ideating and everything. We raised money, family, friends, founders, initial circle, and the first $1 million of this deal went to put the deal up. And that's not no management member, no team member, nobody's taking a penny out of the company in salaries today. Like this is like all of the seed money went directly to build everything that you see. Right. Most of that in inventory. The reason we put it all in inventory, most brands come out of the gate, they start paying themselves, they start doing social media and promoting and doing all of these crazy things, spending money on God knows what. And once you get to any type of scale, you have no money left to really drive distribution. All of our cash at the onset, the first $1 million, was put towards inventory. Reason being is the amount of inventory we have and the product that we hold today, that's what distributors are looking at, bringing them confidence going, oh, you can handle scale.
Right.
So all of the initial seed capital was put in inventory, and we've produced all of that so far. Put the field team on the ground in January. So, several months ago. Put the field team down and sort of turn the heat up. Since then, obviously, we had mentioned 150 restaurants and all these awesome awards and all that. We have the traction required, or we have met the demands needed to be in the, what I'll say, offensive position as it relates to distribution. We're not knocking on distributor door going, please take us, please. We've built a distribution footprint independently, and we're good. Like if we were to stay independent for another year, we're good. Right. Like we can continue doing what we're doing, and it's all great. And depending on what happens, it very, very well could be an opportunity for us. But we look forward to distribution, raise millions in inventory. Then we put the sales team on the ground. Now we're looking forward, and we're seeing a lot of magnetism from the largest distributor houses. There's magnetism from Southern, magnetism from RNDC, Breakthrough. Obviously, they're the fastest growing and a very capable house, which we have we're dating right now. And then Winebow, also a pretty big player. And those are the big four players nationally. All four of those houses are players we're dating right now.
Cool.
So you look at that and you look at, okay, well, what's next? You sign a deal with one of these four houses, all very capable in their own right. You look at distribution as a supplier, and there's all of them have really great things, and all of them have really terrible things. So it's a big navigation dialogue internally as it relates to the speed you want to go. But before you sign on that dotted line, you got to know you can fund it. You got to know that you can handle the growth that is predetermined. There isn't really a let's sign on with the distributor and see what happens type of a thing. The reason we're in the offensive position is because we come to the distributor with a deck and we say, this is the plan and this is what we want to run. This is the inputs. This is where spend goes on the sales side, the marketing side, the human resource side, the discount participation, all of the variables needed to succeed in distribution at scale. This is what it looks like. So every house looks at this and goes, okay, this is the plan. The speed of the plan is determined by the amount of dollars that we have. So all houses, very capable, and we're capable to support all houses. A few, you want to talk specifics, $1 million more, I can sign on the bottom line.
Right.
I can sign on the dotted line and we can press on the gas full speed ahead. Now, if that number's more, if that number's greater, it's really just how fast you want to throttle. Sure. Somebody says, I'll give you a $20 million check to be the next Grey Goose. The plan's in place. Yeah. The inventory's there. Everything, we're good. We are ready to go. But nobody's going to cut you $20 million check. And if somebody's there out there already cut a $20 million check, just let them know we've got the vehicle to put it in.
I might.
I'm excited for that. But it's the amount of money is no longer predicated on and our success is no longer predicated on the amount of money. our speed is. We want to go faster. We need more money.
Because you're so, now we're a little bit in my world now on the finance side, because you're on the seed round and you're at without necessarily publicizing numbers right now, but at low, as low as you're going to get evaluation with what I'm aware of your exit strategy, what you want it to be.
This is the most favorable investor valuation.
This is the prime time to get an ROI.
100%.
The best ROI you can get. Which I'm well aware of. My friends and family are all in on the Golden Eagle side. So we're excited about that. If you were to raise money from a group fund, what would that fund be?
Well, of course, it would be Powerhouse Investment Group.
Of course.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
What does that look like? I'm just curious. Like, what is this? What are the scope for you? All the different ways. Isn't there all kinds of ways?
To raise money?
People can invest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I get what you're saying. that's good. You're plugging me. I like it.
This is yin and yang.
Yes, I love Powerhouse.
We're
right?
a team.
We are the Powerhouse team. So
we're on a call more than I'm on the call with my wife.
That is true. I tell you, who are you on the phone with? Dakota. I will tell you that in addition to typical cash or typical funds where you get it, we can raise money through an IRA, right? Yeah. So it's a tax shelter. So you're not technically diluting your IRA. I'm a pass through. It goes through Powerhouse. It goes directly to you. We don't house any cash. Everything goes directly to you, so you can fund your company. We've been excited to see that some of our money has been able to help you guys get to where you want to go. But we're even more excited to continue that growth because we're all in. I think our network is in the 2 to 3 dozen investors have put money in to Golden Eagle. We've had probably 4 or 5 people go in twice and then a third time on the same round. They're just like, I didn't put enough. And then without, obviously calling out names, we probably have 7 or 8 6 figures and in some cases multi 6 figures go in. So it's exciting. Listen, I think the reason why we're all here right now is because you are a Powerhouse brand. I think you're a Powerhouse CEO. I've met everyone from your board. I think they're all powerhouses themselves. It's you guys are kind of like, my fam. It's our work group is our fam group. And you guys have done an awesome job. So excited to show the warehouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
More excited to wrap this up so I can have another drink.
Now's the time, man.
It is the best effing drink there is. I love it.
This is the time. I mean, you look ahead and you're talking about growth. We built something special here in Southern California, and we're about to turn the light switch on for distribution in Northern California.
If you could do it in California, you can do it anywhere.
Well,
that's what everyone says.
California is the market you have to, and we are doing it successfully doing it here, and people are turning and looking around. Now it's where do we go next? We're looking at Vegas, or our next 4 states that we're looking at, depending on our partner, going to be Texas, Nevada, Illinois, and Florida. So depending on the partner that we rock with, these are big markets. These are 4 markets.
You once mentioned Michigan. Is that still in play?
Michigan is still in play. Michigan is an interesting distribution market, and so we don't have to get into that. But we have identified a distribution partner that we want to pursue up there. It's just weird distribution laws, 3-tier system, 4 tiers. It's all weird. Every state's its own way.
Beast,
but if we go breakthrough, that'll be the plan. Or if we go RNDC, it'll look a little different. We go wine boat, it'll look a little different. But if we do a national deal with breakthrough, it'll look like Nevada and Florida and Texas and Illinois all at one time. I mean, it's all gas, no, like it's all on.
Right.
It's not state. So as it relates to, if you were to tell me today, hey, Dakota, what's the plan? Like, what's next? Like we financially get to where we need to go. What happens? We turn the light switch on in Texas and Nevada and Illinois and Florida, and we fight the fight. That's what we're going to do.
Let's do it. Well, I encourage everyone to be a consumer of Golden Eagle.
Oh, that's not negotiable. And if you haven't tried the product, try it.
If everyone wants to be an investor, come talk to me.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
Dude.
Thank you for being a Powerhouse. Yeah, let's make another drink and let's go check out the warehouse.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks. Hey, all. I'm an avid vodka drinker and the best vodka in the planet. And don't just take my word for it. Take the 97 rating in 2024. Top vodka of the year. Golden Eagle Vodka. American made.